Welcome back to the KDL, everybody. We are getting ready to go to our second team match of the night. ShowTime versus Aura. I am State. With me is Peter. Just had an excellent treat of a match number one. Seraphic versus the Freaks going the distance all the way to the ace match. And now we're moving on to what might be another underdog story here. ShowTime, the rookies going up against the established team Aura.
Another team looking to go to the ace match today because last time against Rocks, although they showed some potential, they couldn't take the match all the way to ace. And of course the players, we see some players like Ghost and Monster who really stand out to me because I know both of those players like to stay in the front. And especially Monster was really successful with keeping up with the top of the pack.
Yeah, there's potential for this team for sure. They didn't seem that bad against Rocks despite losing that series overall, but Aura right now, I mean, it's very early here in KDL Preseason 2, but they just feel like they keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. They were, at the start of KDL Preseason 1, by far the best item team that was on the field. And with the addition of Looning now as their speed ace, they're just starting to continue to solidify all facets of their game. This is a team that I think everybody has to look out for here in KDL Preseason 2, as, man, they've got a lot of firepower in that lineup.
Wolf mentioned Looning all the time in Preseason 1.
He loved him.
All the time as one of his players that he's looking out for, so I'm sure he's really happy, Wolf that is, that Aura now picked this guy up and is already starting off their season so strong. The only team in KDL right now with a 6-0 record, and of course, ShowTime, they're the opponents looking to take them down.
Yeah, showcasing their presence against a pro team, now aiming to get their first win, as we have a lot of these rookie teams coming in here to the KDL Preseason 2 trying to prove themselves. So far, it's been kind of tough. I mean, potential there in their first match against the Freaks. They showed potential. It's like, I hate to repeat it, as I know that I'll get very old very quickly. But I mean, it was a fantastic match for them, but weren't able to get the win. Seraphic also today able to go to an ace match, was not able to get a win. Is they say, fellow amateurs, all of us fighting. Let's all try to win together. But as of yet, I feel like there haven't really been too many big upsets. And I wonder if that's going to happen now. And I'm skeptical because Aura, they just seem so good, Peter.
Yeah, Aura definitely looked like a great team, but as ShowTime pointed out, you know, they joked about Aura also being a fellow amateur team, right? Despite Aura basically acting like a pro team. So that's pretty much what ShowTime is hoping for. But of course, Aura, as you take a look at their average ranks, Hero sitting in first place.
Yeah, Hero, if I'm not mistaken, because I watched the matches on the weekend, but I didn't cast them. I think he got like, what, first place in every single speed?
Yep. Every
single speed track, it was a 3-0. That's just crazy. Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm sorry, but who are you, says Aura to ShowTime. Man, just brutal here today from these pro teams.
Yeah, I mean, in a competitive environment like this, you know, even the teams themselves, they kind of have like a tier list in their brain, and they're like, oh, we're at least better than you, although we're both amateur teams, and I feel like both teams trying to express that today. Yeah,
for sure. All right, looking at the speed track list now, Aura with a first pick here in speed mode, going for Mine 3 shortcuts. Okay, and then after that, we're going to move on to Winding Slopes, Terracotta Twister, Boom Hill Tunnel, and Brazil Circuit. So there's some kind of difficult tracks here to start things out, especially Terracotta Twister, and that has me a little concerned here for ShowTime because when they played against Rocks on Terracotta, it was not good. They lost to a 1-2-3 finish there by Rocks, and on Zigzag Timberland, which is another very difficult, very technical, very complicated racetrack in speed, although it isn't here in this pool, Rocks was actually able to get the 1-2-3-4 finish here against ShowTime. So we'll see if ShowTime's able to bring something a little bit better here today against Aura on these more difficult tracks. Man, Aura, they've just gotten so good, again, especially with the addition of Looting. I cannot wait to cast these guys, man. I was sad that I missed this opening weekend because it was a lot of fun action, but I'm happy to be here today.
Yeah, so ShowTime put a lot of emphasis on banning the tracks that are really hard. You know, tracks like Constructing Chaos and Zigzag Timberland are some of the top tracks in that department, whereas Aura, they banned out New York Rally, which is a pretty easy track where I feel like a lot of amateur teams have decent showing against even the likes of a team like Aura. And Japan Circuit, I have to assume that got banned out due to the lack of practice that Aura players have had on it compared to some of the original kart rider tracks.
Yeah, that might be it, but also Japan circuit doesn't seem as complicated as a lot of other tracks in the pool, so that was maybe them trying just to up the difficulty level in any possible way that they can here to really flex their muscles against the up-and-coming team ShowTime, and we'll see if that strategy pays off here in the speed draft.
Yeah,
looks like our teams are getting ready.
You know, one of the players did have some issues with their audio, but, you know, they're checking to make sure that they can communicate with each other just fine. So, you know, they're taking the time right now to go through the checks, and he's looking kind of smirked there.
Yeah, a lot of sass on Team Aura today, man. I love to see it. And hopefully we'll get this sound issue resolved really quickly here for the teams. As you see the admins and perhaps some technical staff there trying to help them sort all that out. But it should be a really fun match for today. I mean, ShowTime again against Rocks, which is a really solid team. They didn't seem that bad, you know, despite losing that series overall and especially having some difficulty on the difficult tracks. They certainly showed a lot of potential. I mean, there's a good reason why they're here, why they qualified for KDL Preseason 2. And I would love to have an upset happen here today between these rookie teams against, I mean, or although they don't technically have a big sponsor to make them quote unquote a pro team, I mean, they're a pro team in my heart. They are so good. They're so talented.
Absolutely. We talked about before the broadcast state that honestly, Preseason 2 might be where Aura could get a win and become the new champion.
It's possible.
They need to continue that momentum today if they want to have a chance at that. Of course, you know, Aura, a team that you mentioned being really good at item mode. However, when they won the coin flip today against ShowTime, they put priority on picking their speed track first.
Whoa.
So you have to wonder about that. You know, maybe they're a bit more confident in their speed this season, and also they saw some potential in ShowTime being good at speed because that was where they were able to push Rocks to game number 5, where in item mode it ended in game number 4.
All right, well, it looks like the audio issue has been resolved. Both teams are ready as we're getting ready to start team match number 2 here today. Track number 1 will be raced on Mine 3 shortcuts.
Here we go, beginning our first speed match between Aura and ShowTime. Looning already looking really good with knock and seize.
Oh yeah, man, Looning's pulled away so far ahead. And you have to give credit to the teammates there for Aura to do some body blocking, body checking to really allow him to spread his wings. I think that was actually Ghost that took that corner a little bit too tight and caught it as we're entering a very difficult area right here. Right now, kind of reminiscent of Terracotta Twister is, we saw this before in item mode. Here in speed mode, this map is chaos.
Ghost and Monster are the 2 runners for ShowTime, or, you know, players that like to stay in the front. And the fact that they're in the back is really concerning because FaZe, there's no shot that he's going to be breaking this 1-2 anytime soon. With Hero being there in 4th place, you know, we know Hero as a guy who's always in 1st place, but so far Aura not thrown off by the fact that Hero's in 4th.
Yeah, FaZe not a runner, more comfortable in the middle of the pack trying to cause disruptions and support his teammates. Is going to have to play the role of the speed master here for his team, and you see him, he's trying to slow down Knock and Hero as best he can to allow his teammates to close the distance. As Looning, he's pulled so far ahead that really the win condition here for ShowTime is, you know, maybe going for a 2-3-4 or something along that lines, right? It's going to be very difficult to unseat Looning, and with Knock now passing FaZe, it just makes that problem so much more complicated.
And now we see Knock with a fantastic knockback on FaZe. They're off of the wall. Now, recovering that 1-2 for Aura here. Ghost and Flare doing all they can to catch up, but 4, 5, 6, 7 is nothing compared to a 1-2-3.
Yeah, 1-2-3 right now for Aura as they're in complete control. FaZe doing everything he can to try and upheave Hero here, but it's going to be a dominating win for Team Aura here in track number 1. I mean, Looning just ran away with that one straight off the gates, and the body blocking and the support there from his teammates were so good in the middle field. And then to be able to come up behind him and shore him up with a 1-2-3 finish, just tremendous stuff here from Team Aura.
Yeah, that was a tragic start for ShowTime there. Ghost and Monster, they weren't able to recover, actually finishing 6th and 8th. So the worst positions for their team. And I feel like that's when the strategy for ShowTime really falls apart. And once again, reiterating the fact that Aura didn't even need Hero, their ace player, all the way at the front. That is enormous.
I mean, Hero's just been so good. The first 3 speed tracks that Team Aura played in KDL Preseason, he was first in every single one of them. So the fact that they are able to rely on looting just to run away there, I mean, it shows the depth that they have on their roster here. Is Aura just in a commanding position here after track number 1. And I mean, just looking at the players, reading their body language, Aura, they just seem so comfortable here. ShowTime perhaps a little bit more pensive, trying to figure out what went wrong. How can they avoid another situation like that in track number 2? As Peter, I think we're getting ready.
Yep, we're going to be entering Mind-Winding Slopes as a track of choice coming in from ShowTime. Let's see if they can put a point on the board this time.
Here we go on Mind-Winding Slopes. We'll see if Looting's able to get the fantastic start that he did in track number 1. It's going to be Hero here leading the charge for Team Aura.
Aura back to their good old strategy where C is going to be the backup for Hero now. Of course, Knock there to knock out the players of ShowTime as needed. This time it's Monster in the front as usual.
Yeah, Monster's in the front, but man, Hero sees and Knock already in a commanding 1-2-3 puncher at the front as you see Knock doing his best to try and zone Monster out. Oh, I love that!
Yeah.
Trying to push Monster actually off the edge there, just creating so many problems. Another body block also gets phased with Knock just causing so many problems. You see him try to take that tight inner line to also sweep Monster there. And
Monster!
I'm not exactly sure what went wrong there for Monster as he fell off the track. Or is that potentially a disconnect? I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but the race for now at least will continue.
Yeah, it seems like definitely Monster is thrown off guard by that one, as now it seems like there's no recovery happening for the players of ShowTime. Knock is blocking out Flare, but you look at the positions of C's and Hero, they're way too far ahead.
Yeah, and Monster not even on the track, so I have to wonder whether there's going to be an admin decision right now, as it seems like Aura is just in a complete commanding position, only 400 meters away here. And we'll see. I mean, yeah, this is just going to be the easiest win here for Team Aura. As we'll see if track number 2 is going to catch. Yeah, okay, we're getting confirmation here from RPD that we're actually going to be going into a rematch there, as Monster had an unfortunate disconnect about a quarter of the way through the track. But man, it's a little unfortunate there for Aura because, I mean, they were off to such a tremendous start and not only holding on to positions 1 and 2, but the body blocking there in the middle field was so good for their team. It was just tremendous.
Yeah, and Monster, he took too monstrous of a line for the game to handle. So we have to do a rematch.
Oh my goodness, Peter. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, what can we say? He's too good. His lines are just next level. That's why even Cartwright or Drift, you know, they struggle to figure out what he was doing.
Can't contain him. Can't contain him. I mean, Monster certainly was off to the best start there for Team ST by far, but Aura was just in the commanding position really from the get-go there in track number 2, and we'll see if they're able to repeat that here as we're getting ready to go into a rematch. We'll see if it seems like actually some admins and more tech staff is coming in to try and make sure this issue does not happen again, as perhaps it was a network problem. Waiting to see if he's able to rejoin the lobby.
Okay, so it seems like they're going to be swapping out the PC, getting a new one to make sure that the problem doesn't reoccur.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll get that one done pretty quick, man. I mean, these teams, you see like these pit crews and these like professional racing teams like IRL, they're able to like swap out the tires in like 1-2 seconds. That's our staff here at the KDL, man. We're gonna have a new PC ready for these guys any moment now, but for now, you know, just a little bit of downtime here, giving our players, our teams, a little bit of time to collect themselves, or they've got to be feeling really good after winning track number 1 in such dominating fashion, and also being off to such a good start there in track number 2.
Yeah, I really hope that Aura, if they do end up winning today, it's going to be in a dominant fashion, just so we can see them continue on their lead so far here in Preseason 2.
Fans here in the crowd showing support for all of our players here.
Yeah, and they're saying the future winning team is going to be Aura.
It might be true, man. I mean, I feel like I might be jumping the gun a little bit too much getting on the Aura train, considering this is literally their second match here in KDL Preseason 2. But I was so impressed by them in Preseason 1, really from the start of the season. And they just continuously got better and better and better. And yeah, they didn't get top 2 there, but they had a tremendous showing overall. And with the addition of Looning coming in now as their speed ace, I feel like this team, it's really starting to round itself out. And of all the teams right now in KDL, I mean, although, oh my goodness.
Look at that gaze.
Yeah.
He's looking into my soul.
Almost lost my train of thought there, man. I was just derailed by that intense eye contact. But going back to what I was saying, I mean, Aura, they're just getting so well-rounded now that I really feel like if they're able to continue to perform at a high enough level and even continue to improve the way that they have this entire year, I could see them easily competing with the likes of Live Sandbox, of Rocks Esports, of the KWANGDONGFREECS, and now only time will tell exactly where Aura is going to end up at the end here of KDL Preseason 2, but I've got to say, man, if you're an Aura fan right now watching from home, the future is very bright for your favorite team.
I feel like one of the most important conditions to make sure that your team is capable of making it to the playoffs is that you have to be consistent against the amateur teams. You know, no one expects you to always win against professional giants, I was about to say, as we see already the mental attack coming in to the players of Aura. They're getting thrown off. It's going to affect their line.
Man, you can just see that. What is this meta? Everyone's just like putting fingers in each other's faces. But you can see, at least on Team Aura, man, they're feeling so comfortable, so relaxed, feeling good. And I mean, just having the Nock Tech duo for item mode, and Nock also being such a good hybrid player. You know, he's been coming up clutch here in speed mode as well. And with Looning, Hero, and the sweeping out of Seas, it just feels like Aura with so much depth is going to be a difficult opponent, really, for ShowTime, or really any other team for that matter, to go up against here in KDL Preseason 2. Is I just cannot wait to watch this season develop, see them continue to grow their skills, build chemistry as a team, as they are all smiles right now. So we continue to wait through this technical pause, win and get that new PC set up here for our player on ShowTime. Man, exciting day of KDL so far.
I love the teamwork between Aura here, not just in the gameplay of Kartrider, but also just as a team, as friends overall, because you can see them just casually joking around to each other. Hey, look at the camera, give them some eye contact, you know, it's your time to be on the screen, and I'm loving the dynamics between our players. Oh my, going for the zoom in.
Yeah, they're having fun. Man, for me as an RTS guy also, like, looking at the way these guys have their keyboard and mouse setup, it scares me for a moment. I'm like, that's not enough mouse pad for your mouse, man. That's like a couple centimeters. But yeah, it's a keyboard game here in Kartrider.
Oh.
Keyboard game here in KD.
Yeah, there was some staring contest going on there, but he only lasted like 3-4 seconds. It's hard to keep those eyes open. They get dry really fast, especially as a gamer. You ever had that state?
Yeah, man. When I play games at home, I have this bug where especially if it's like a 1v1 match that I'm playing or something that's really competitive, my eyes just stay open. I do not blink. My eyes get so watery. It is tough. And all right, the computer has been swapped in. We're ready to go back here into a repeat of track number 2 on Mind Winding Slopes. Let's get into it.
All right, let's get this rematch back on board. Aura is leading by a point. Let's see if Hero will be able to take the lead once again.
Yeah, we'll see. It feels like Aura has a really good read on exactly how to start on this map. This is almost like a repeat of the previous track with Seas, Hero, and Looting in commanding positions. Now Flare here in 3rd place is going to try and disrupt this flow a little bit here for his team and provide Ghost, Monster, and FaZe with some time to close the distance, but Aura once again just in commanding position. I want to see.
Oh my goodness, absolute execution there.
Yeah, absolutely brutal now. Ghost is going to try and close in. Monster right behind him, but Aura just very quickly running away with this one yet again.
Yeah, Flare, he's been set far behind, and once again, you can see even FaZe, he is struggling. They're so far behind right now that it's only Monster and Ghost really competing. Even if Ghost manages to break the 1-2, which doesn't even seem possible right now, it's not enough.
Just look at the picture-in-picture, man. Seas and Hero, they are so far ahead of the pack. Ghost is doing everything in his power to close the distance, but with Looting hot on his tails and Nock as well, with a 360 spin attack. Oh my goodness, look at a special attack from a fighting game or something, man. That was a cool move, but Aura with the 1-2 finisher from Season Hero going to be able to deliver once again the win in a commanding fashion here, just dominating the speed mode against ST.
I'm really surprised because ShowTime, they picked Mind Winding Slopes themselves, and they've had 2 chances now to play on it here against Aura, and both times they really struggled to break that 1-2 combo coming in from Hero as well as C's. I feel like if you cannot break that 1-2 combo, you're gonna have always a really tough time against Aura and Speed.
I mean, the 1-2 combo is just a guaranteed win, right? And Aura, they probably, if they wanted to, could have played for a 1-2-3 or something to that effect, because Looning was in a really commanding position to, shore up that back line there. But, the name of the game really is just win the track as you can. So Looning went in for a little bit more sweeping and a little bit less running, created problems there for Team ShowTime, and Aura able to deliver a win yet again as the good times continue here for Team Aura.
Yeah, they're only 1 win away now from continuing on a flawless record so far in the round points.
That's right. Yeah, they were 6-0 after the opening weekend, now 8-0 overall in tracks.
And that's a great way to build your playoff position, because once we get to the later phases of Preseason 2, a lot of teams might end up having the same exact score, and it comes down to the round wins and set wins to decide who moves on.
Yeah, I mean, should these teams be tied overall in set wins, I mean, winning more tracks, that is the tiebreaker. So 8-0 to start is just such a comfortable position here for Team Aura. So we're getting ready to move on to Terracotta Twister, one of the more difficult tracks here in speed mode. We'll see if ShowTime is able to bring it back. And here we go on Terracotta Twister. Previously against Rocks, ShowTime took a 1-2-3 defeat just this past weekend, as this map has been a little bit of a challenge for them here against these more established teams. We'll see if they're able to turn that around right now, with Ghost and FaZe right now, 2nd and 3rd position, Looning right behind him, trying to help his teammate Hero.
This is the best start that ShowTime has had so far against Aura in the tracks. However, you look at the players of Aura, the 1-2-3-4, these 4 are always bound together, coming in when it's needed, whereas it feels like at least 2 players are always missing for ShowTime.
Yeah, Looning almost going for a little bit of a pit maneuver right there, just trying to cause any problems he can here for Ghost and FaZe. Is Ghost,
Ghost
no.
Goes out of line off that bounce.
Yeah, he did not actually get knocked down into the pit, but he did lose a lot of momentum right there, and that's going to solidify the position here for Aura at the front of the pack. Hero sees Looning in 1-2-3, so we get the picture-in-picture. It is pretty close to position 2 and 3, but Hero just so far ahead, really in time trial mode right now is FaZe. He's doing everything he can to try and put his team back in the race, and Aura just looking so good right now, Peter.
I feel like Hero might be a player that we need to highlight in Preseason 2, because this guy, he's always having monstrous leads, and how does he do that? Yeah,
it's difficult to really understand, man. We're gonna have to see more and more tracks from him and exactly what his game plan is. Because it feels like every single time Aura's in a commanding position, more often than not, it's gonna be Hero that's leading the charge. 3 first place finishes on opening weekend as FaZe almost got knocked off there.
Yeah, Looning with a great body check there. Now Flare trying to come up to 4th place, but Nock is just gonna knock him right back, and Aura looking for that 1-2-3-4 dominating finish.
Yeah, Flare is going to try and disrupt that a little bit, but it does not matter. Aura with a very comfortable sweep, as of yet undefeated in tracks so far here in KDL Preseason 2. 9-0 overall. Just absolute domination here.
Man, Aura, this is a team that we may start needing to place above KWANGDONGFREECS. It may be too early to do that, but say they go against KWANGDONGFREECS and they have another 6-0 sweep. Who's gonna write them off and say, no, KWANGDONGFREECS is still better because they're just a pro team?
I mean, in that case, of course. If Aura 6-0's the Freaks, you got to give it to them. But I mean, the Freaks, the reigning champions, credit where credit is due, but Aura just showing so much potential right now in KDL Preseason 2. And Hero especially, I love that you're highlighting him individually here for Team Aura, because I think, what was it? Was it 1 or 2 tracks here in this speed mode that he finished in 1st place? Because it definitely was here on Terracotta Twister. It might have been here on another track. That's more than half of the speed tracks that Aura's won that he came through in first place. So really coming in clutch for his team. Hero just not making any mistakes, it feels like.
Yep, and that's why he's the best in average ranking, but of course now the item aces are going to get swapped in. And the crazy thing for Aura is that the fact that they lose Looning, such a highly coveted player, is no problem at all because Tech is also a really good item ace and he's been known for making the craziest plays.
Yeah, Looning just so good, but Aura with so much depth, they're going to go back to the Noctec duo here for item. Some former KWANGDONGFREECS players from years and years ago.
Yep.
As we get a look here at the item track list.
So I'm not too surprised by this first pick coming onto London Night by ShowTime because this is a track that a lot of the stronger teams ban out against the amateur teams because it is fairly wide open and very straightforward. While on the other side, you know, picking up a track like Motherlode, Sphinx's Riddle, I do think those were some great pickups by Aura there. They also banned out Town Hall and Shark's Wake. I feel like Shark's Wake has been really high up in the priority for ban list this season.
Yeah, and I'm a little sad about it because I want to cast some more games on Shark Wake. You know,
Yeah.
it looks like it looks like a really fun track. I would love to see some more of it. But I like the game plan here for Team Aura. And remember, you talked about them prioritizing speed mode over item mode. And I want to say that could just be them being so confident in their item mode skills that they're like, we don't need a map pick advantage in item mode to defeat anybody. And so we'll see exactly how that one plays out for them. We'll see if it bites them in the butt or if they're going to be able to deliver another win here as we move on to World Tour London Night.
Aura looking to continue on their undefeated round record in item mode.
Yeah, Aura undefeated not only in item mode, but also in speed mode, man. 9-0
Yep.
overall, as they just are looking so good. But ShowTime, if they're going to start the comeback, it's going to have to be here on London Night. They're going to have to get something going to try and force an ace match here against Team Aura.
Seems like C's is holding the front of the pack with the Angel as well as the EMP. Hero, he wasn't able to dodge the barricade there, but it doesn't matter because for him, more of his focus right now is on UFO, using it to get out some of the EMP waves from the side of ShowTime.
And also keep in mind that the further you are from first place, the higher the attack item drop propagation as well. So there could be a little bit of metagaming going on right now with Hero trying to fall all the way to 8th place just to do some more support towards his team with attacks.
Yep.
You know, item mode, although it does seem very chaotic, and it truly is, these play callers, they understand this game at a level that we as casters and a lot of viewers at home, I mean, it's tough to grasp, right, exactly what is going through their game plans at any given moment. So you got to think that whenever you see something like that, a player hitting a barricade, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, so what's concerning right now is that Aura is holding on to 2 Angels, whereas ShowTime, they don't have a single one. And if you look at Tech, he's holding on to a Lightning as well. So these Angels are really going to be high priority right now for ShowTime to pick up because we are in the final lap.
Yeah, I'm liking that we have a lot of magnets coming in here for ShowTime. Both Monster and Flare right now holding onto a magnet. Monster actually has a Nitrous as well, so a little bit of a wombo combo there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and pull back a little bit to 2nd or 3rd place to get the most utility possible out of that magnet, and potentially Monster will be able to pull some aggro too.
And
we'll
here
see.
Comes Lightning, but it gets blocked out by the Angel. Now it's Nock who's going to spin out of control. C's looking good now, but Flare comes to the front, gets the Lightning on him, but C's is going to boost Flare a bit forward, and that's enough for ShowTime to finally get a round win against Aura.
Yeah, Flare coming in with a clutch right there. The Thunderbolt did not matter as he was able to finish. As it felt like for Team ShowTime, really there at the end, they had all the items that they needed just to take the momentum from their opponents and cross that finish line in a pivotal moment, and that is what they did. So finally getting on the board here against Aura. Aura with their first track loss of the season here, coming all the way in track number 10. So it's been an incredible run for them so far, but that's only game number 1 here in this best of 5, Peter.
I love that Front coming in as the item waves. Was instantly able to secure that first round win. And of course, you can see the confidence going up on the players of ShowTime as well.
Yeah, ShowTime going to be feeling really good taking the track off of Aura here, who have been item specialists from KDL Preseason 1. They're so good, especially, I mean, the Noctec duo, just legendary in the kart rider scene as being one of the best item team partners in the world. As we're getting ready to go into track number 2 right now. ShowTime up 1-0 as we move to Mine Mother Mode. ShowTime proving that Team Aura can bleed with that map win in track number 1. We'll see if they're able to double it up and go up 2-0 here on Motherlode, as they would love to reach match point here and potentially get in striking distance of forcing that ace match.
My Motherlode is a 3-lapper track, so we have plenty of time for the players to be cycling through their items this time around. We're seeing Angel and Missiles just being locked and loaded for the side of Aura.
And Aura actually running away with this a little bit, as we have a picture-in-picture highlighting how far Nock and Hero have gotten away from the pack. And with attacks coming in right now on FaZe and Thrawn, you can really see that Aura is trying their best to just build as much distance as possible. And right now, FaZe really the only player here for Team ShowTime within striking distance of this top 2.
Yeah. Nock and Hero are absolutely knocking it out of the park right now in FaZe. He gets set back even further, and he has a missile.
Another missile coming in. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Peter, but these attacks have been absolutely insane out of Aura. Just look at the distance continue to grow here for Nock and Hero. Rarely in item mode do we see players, create this much distance to their opponents. It's finally Monster with a clutch magnet. They're able to close the distance a little bit, especially here. Oh, the shield actually blocking that rocket as finally Nock getting caught up to. My goodness.
Yeah, fortunately for ShowTime, Motherlode is a track where it's really long and it's pretty straight for the most part, so it's easy to get back within the range of your opponent. And now we see Monster leading the pack with a Lightning, and he picked up a banana there. Not really what he wanted, because he would have liked the shield to dodge that missile.
Yeah, Nock right now holding onto his shield and an Angel shield in first place. Take now, grounding out the flank, is going to try and close the distance. Angel shield pops, does block that Thunderbolt there. As right now it feels like a little bit of a 1v run right here in the front of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, Nock, he's holding on to 2 shields, so he's looking really good. Now Tech is coming up for support. He does have the EMP wave to block out some of the magnets in case it gets picked up by ShowTime. Flair with the water bomb, he does manage to surpass Nock.
Yeah, but only FaZe and Hero right now actually have speed items. It's just all attacking items, and so with the finish line 400 meters away, there really isn't a lot of counterplay here to slow down Flair. ShowTime, they might be coming through, and that's going to be it. Flair crosses the finish line. Just really no speed items to be found by almost, really, frankly, either team. As now ShowTime going to match point up 2-0 here against Aura in item mode.
Yeah, Hero tried to be that guy for Aura that's able to bring the match back, but the second he got targeted out by the water bomb, it was pretty much over because there was such a sizable lead for Flair. He was coming in exactly 4 seconds before C's in second place.
And there was such a long period of time where 2 racers for Team Aura were just so far away from Sensation. But, as you said, this is a 3-lapper, and it's a little bit of a longer 3-lapper at that, so there was a lot of time for our players on ShowTime to close the distance, and they were able to do it. And, so many attacks coming in by both teams, but ShowTime getting the better end of the trade. Aura just not having the tools in their belt to supplant them at the front of the pack. And now 1 track win away, 1 track loss away for Aura going to that ace match. We'll see if we're going to go there as we get ready to go on to map number 3, Factory Cogwheel Crush.
Getting a round number 3 match point for ShowTime here. Let's see if... let's not see.
Let's not see.
Let's go back, take a step back, and do some tech checkups.
Yeah, hopefully not another long delay here. It seems like there is a technical issue here for Team ShowTime.
Yeah, you can see that, today has been a pretty unfortunate day so far, but...
I think particularly for Team ShowTime too, right?
Yeah.
I don't think... I'm trying to recall, I don't think we had that many pauses in round number 1, and if we did, it wasn't a technical pause, it was something we wanted to check with the admins, which ended up being nothing, but hopefully we will be able to jump right back into map number 3 in a moment here.
It's good that it was caught early this time.
Yeah, that is nice.
But our players, man, ShowTime, they just have so much positive energy going on them, smiles all around. Feels like they're never losing focus.
Yeah, it's good to see. Aura's the same way, man. You look at this team, they're always smiling, always feeling good, even with delays like this. They don't mind it one bit. So we're waiting to receive word from our PDs on exactly what the issue is hopefully we will be able to jump back into this map. So the fingers continue to get poked in the faces, man. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like a boomer right now. I don't understand what these kids are doing.
Yeah, like I'm from the 2000 era, but even I'm starting to feel
Are you really from the 2000 era?
Yeah,
oh my
I'm exactly 2000, but I don't know what the fingers are about.
Oh, I'm getting old. I'm 1992. My goodness.
We're all getting old.
Yeah, that is true. Every single one of us.
Yep.
And, yeah, I guess we're going to be lifting off the keyboard here, so maybe the admin's going to take a look at exactly what is going on here with this PC as this situation will get resolved. Actually, potentially swapping keyboards in with his teammate.
Your keyboard is mine now.
All your keyboard are belong to us.
Yep. And honestly, I feel like it might be item mode where ShowTime has some momentum this time around against Aura, putting up already 2-0 record on the board, which is very surprising because last time against Seongnam Rocks, item mode is where they struggled, going only 1-3. So it would be a nice sight to see Aura being finally pushed to that ace match, which will be their first showing for both teams in the ace match.
Yeah, it would be really fun to get another ace match here, but you have to worry just a little bit whether these technical issues are causing some momentum problems here for Team ShowTime because, you know, you just won track number 1, you won track number 2, both tracks in relatively convincing fashion as far as item mode goes, and you kind of just want to jump right back into that next map and keep this good vibe going, right?
Yeah.
All this momentum is behind you right now, and hopefully this won't take any of the wind out of their sails heading into map number 3 because I'm loving what we're seeing out of ShowTime. They showed a lot of potential in their first match of KDL Preseason 2 against Rocks despite losing. It was a solid performance, and once again here against Aura, despite a 3-0 loss in speed mode, up with 2 wins right now in item. It's looking good for them.
Yeah, I feel like I'm seeing a trend here right now in Preseason 2. A lot of the teams that we consider to be really good at item mode are actually really faltering there right now. For instance, Live Sandbox is a team that was highlighted as now having 2 item aces, with Jimin moving into the role of Speed and also playing for the item mode while having another item mode ace, which is going to be Delta. But they ended up going 0-3 in item mode against Sensation, which is completely unexpected because Sensation, they did really poorly in item mode last season.
Well, I mean, this happens in basically every single game whenever there's a shakeup in meta, right? Where, you know, players or teams that are good at one thing, once that thing changes, it takes a while for you really to, you know, get that mojo back. And we'll see if these other teams are able to do it because, I mean, the maps are different here in KDL Preseason 2. We now have balloons that are getting added in, so attacks are a little bit different. On top of that, attack propagation overall is higher, the way that things have been shaking out so far in KDL. And you know, there have also been changes to, you know, defensive items like the Angel Shield. It's not as good as it used to be. It now only blocks 1 attack, right? So there are a lot of adjustments that these players and teams have to make, and you have to think that as the season continues on, improvements will be made. These adjustments will be made. A lot of these teams that were excelling at item mode in KDL Preseason 1 will be able to regain their footing in KDL Preseason 2. But it does take time.
Yeah, this seems like on the side of ShowTime, we're running some tests to make sure that the games will go smoothly once we're in game. And I'm really impressed by the clicking speed through the menu interface. He was like, it took him 0.5 seconds to navigate the menu.
I mean,
that's impressive to me.
We interview our players before every season here in the KDL, and you know, one of the questions that we often ask them is, you know, how much do you actually play per day? How often do you practice? And for some people, it's a little bit less, but generally, the answer that we get, it's like, what, 6, 7, 8 hours, if not more. I mean, these are a lot of young kids. There's a lot of prize money. And at a young age, you know, this is life-altering money here on the line. And so they're really giving it their all here, competing in the KDL. And, I mean, you spend 8 hours a day playing any game, I guarantee you're going to navigate those venues like a madman.
Good point. But speaking of a bit less time for practice on some of these players, I was really surprised by a player like Scarlet from Seraphic saying that he only practices an hour per day for an average practice. And that's pretty unusual for me to hear.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical about that. I mean, I almost said I'm 10 years old. I've been in the esports industry for like, what, more than a decade now. And oftentimes I've seen players say that kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, I don't practice. It's just natural skill. Like I don't really care. I don't put that much effort in. But then you actually get to know the guy, and it's like, no, you practice a lot. You practice like 8 hours a day, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I remember as a former StarCraft 2 pro gamer, I used to see that a bunch. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlet was playing at least a little bit more than 1 hour per day, you know?
Yeah, I guess it also changes depending on the games, because for me, I come from a game called Summoner's War, which was my entry into the esports scene. And for me, I feel like I might have played even less than an hour in that game per day,
Really?
but I did still manage to be in like, the top 50 rankings usually. So,
Dang, what a gamer. That's impressive, man. I didn't know you were so good, Peter.
as they say, it's not about the quantity, sometimes it's about the quality.
Yeah, maybe Scarlet gets like 1 hour of really quality practice every day. He's like in a Dragon Ball Z time chamber or something, just getting ready for the KDL.
Yeah.
But guys, we're still trying to resolve this technical issue that we have right now for our players, and hopefully we'll get fixed shortly. As it always sucks whenever you have these delays like this, but I'm sure our admin team and our technical support team is working overtime to try and get this ready as soon as possible. So thank you for bearing with us. In the meantime, I mean, if you got some friends at home, get the word out. Go on those Discord servers, maybe get out on Twitter, get out on social media, tell them that KDL, it's happening. There's English broadcast coverage. We would love to get more eyes on this thing as, Kart Rider Drift, it's a great game and it just keeps getting better.
The esports scene is definitely packed and has such a huge history behind it. Been here for almost a decade now, so it is definitely a joy to be a part of it. And speaking of some of the joys about esports, I love looking into like the team dynamics. And one interesting thing for me about ShowTime is that every single player here is pretty much 2005 and 2006. And then there's only one player, Fran, from 1997. And I mentioned this guy as being like the leader of the team who's going to keep the youngsters in check. But so far, based on the camera shots, the youngsters, they're running pretty wild. They have so much personality on them, and I love it.
All right, well, I hear the music once again, Peter. I think it's finally time for us to get back into Factory Cogwheel Crush. As we repeat this, remember, match point. If Team ST is able to come away with a win, we will be going to an ace match. Let's get to it.
We're ready for the, once again, going into round 3 and seeing, once again, if ShowTime can close it off on Cogwheel Crush.
Yeah, hopefully no more technical issues here, as I would love to have all that behind us now as we're continuing on. And what a story it would be if ShowTime's able to pick up another map win here in item mode and sweep Aura in item mode, which was their forte in KDL Preseason 1, and force an ace match.
Yeah, and so far we're seeing Hero trying to take the lead again. It seems like it's in his DNA,
Yeah,
because even if he
true.
comes to item mode, Hero can't help but be in first place.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, man. In speed mode, he was in first place, at least 4 out of the 6 maps they played so far, and now here in item mode doing much of the same thing, as Fran and Monster are going to try and close the distance a little bit here on the 2-lapper that is Cogwheel Crush. And it's a very tight pack right here. Actually, a lot of racers able to get into that speed boost there in the middle. Some fortuitous timing for them as Hero, Fran, and taking a pull away from their pack just a little bit.
Yeah, and this is going to be a 2-lapper track, so our players are running out of time to make sure that their item inventory is how they want it to be with the huge water bomb.
That was a big water bomb. Got a lot of players right there as Hero just continuing to pull away. Actually has 2 shields. Does cycle 1 out there for an EMP, and another one, so perhaps dodging attacks right there is Hero. As we continue
that was
on.
really nice.
And although Hero right now is in first place with 2 shields, I'm liking ShowTime's position, man. FaZe, Flare, Monster, and Fran are all right behind him, actually all passing him. So Aura, they have their work cut out to try to close the distance. Picking up 2 nitros will help a bit.
And right now it's FaZe leading the pack for ShowTime with double shield on him, so he's going to be able to absorb a lot of the aggro, but the UFO cannot be negated by the shield, so he's going to get caught out with the water bomb as well. Now it's Flare leading for ShowTime.
And getting closer and closer to that finish line are our racers right now. Flare in first place with a magnet and a shield, but a lot of players right behind him. And as opposed to the previous couple of tracks, oh, actually, wait, hold that thought. We have Monster and Tech both going here through the speed boost. Tech also does have a Nitrous, so we'll see right now coming down the wire.
Oh,
300 meters to go.
He gets caught by the water bomb thrown by Tech, and now Tech is in the front. He's going to be able to speed right through with C's, taking an item win victory, tying up the board, or at least bringing it back 1-2.
Man, what a close finish there. I felt like either team really had a chance of winning it. So much chaos there right at the end, especially adding in that speed boost tunnel. I mean, just so much going on. Aura getting the better end of the trade, though. As they say, no ace match, at least not yet.
Yep.
Getting up on the board now, 2-1 in ShowTime's favor.
If Tech didn't land that water bomb there, and I saw it hit just at the edge, it could have been a much different story, because Monster, he was looking really solid, building up that lead for himself, and I don't believe there was a much of a way for Aura to stop him in his tracks, if not for that crucial moment there. And of course, seems like at this point, ShowTime, they're starting to falter. You know, we thought maybe it's time for them in item mode to finally come back, but it's not looking good anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. Still only one map win away. Forcing that ace match, though, is Team ShowTime, as we're getting ready to move on to round number 4 on Desert Sphinx's Riddle. Question we have to ask is whether ShowTime will solve the Sphinx's riddle and take us to that ace match here against Team Aura. Would love to see it. Would love to get a second ace match here.
Wow, 4-man water bomb, 5-man.
5-man water bomb. Takes me back to my my license days, trying to time the water bomb against those AIs going down the highway. Never seen one get 4 like that. Good on them.
Yep, the
Big
water
hit.
bombs are coming in super clutch in this matchup here, as we see C is leading pack with a double shield. He's going to be able to absorb very much items with that, now going for the EMP wave instead. Double EMP, nice.
Yeah, a lot of EMPs here for Team Aura right now. He's holding on 2 of those, just like a 1 out. Actually, both with some UFOs were coming through.
And we're seeing double lightning being held by ShowTime right now, which is going to be mitigated by the double angel from Knox. So I want to see how these teams will be baiting out each other's items. This is a 3-lapper track, and we're currently in the middle part of it. We're seeing double magnets as well on each side.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see exactly how these teams decide to shake up their item inventories, because it does feel like, at least in KDL Preseason 2, it's a bit more complicated than KDL Preseason 1, where you would see so many racers just try to gun for the nitrous magnet combo, but it's a little bit more chaotic here in KDL Preseason 2, a little bit more complicated. There's more attacks now coming in. Rockets do get deflected there by shields. We're getting ready to go into lap number 3.
I feel like water bombs are especially effective. You know, it's kind of obvious, but when you can target out specifically your opponents only, and even like 2 or more of them, and I've seen that happen so many times when Aura threw their water bombs. Now it's Fran leading the pack, but Nock looking to get some of that momentum back.
Yeah, it's so close here at the front of the pack with so many players here, not only just for Team Aura, but also Sensation is continuing to trade hands. Does get the better end of that trade right there, though a UFO slows him down a bit. And now knocking the lead here for Team Aura. And looking at the inventories, we do have a lot of nitrous and magnets, but it's mostly at the back of the pack.
Yeah, it's looking really close right now. Nock, he does have an EMP wave to deter the magnet usage from Fran. Water bombs are being held as well, and it seems like it's not going to get thrown, as Tech and Hero are in the front, securing a nice, clean win.
Yeah, that was very clean there from Aura, man. With the item setup that we had, I was expecting a little bit more chaos, but Tech and Hero just able to finish it out 1-2 there, as we're going to go to the final match of item mode, all tied up 2-2.
Yep, it seems like it's not going to be easy for ShowTime to go to ace match. As much as we, the fans, would love to see it, you know, if you're an Aura fan, you don't want to see it, right? You'd rather get a clean win.
Or you might be an Aura fan that wants to see them win an ace match. You know,
but that's
it takes
risky.
all kinds. It is risky, but it's exciting. Risk is exciting, man.
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of fan you are in that sense. And I know that you're the type that loves excitement. And to be honest, I do too. So it is in my hopes that ShowTime will be able to have a comeback in round 5.
Yeah, we'll see. It does feel like that technical delay did maybe take a little bit of the wind out of their sails. They were looking so good in track number 1 and track number 2, but since then, Aura just been able to pull it back with some really clean wins. Just love watching Hero walk away with this one in first place, is just able to deliver yet another victory here for his team, as we're going to be going to the decider map in just a moment here, Peter.
Yeah, and I really liked how the replay was once again emphasizing the usage of the water bomb there, because water bombs definitely have been more impactful coming into Preseason 2 compared to the previous one. And I feel like Tech, he's definitely been a player who has shown great usage of that, and it's up to ShowTime to start being more aware of things like that.
Yep, and it looks like we're getting ready to go into the final track here of item mode. The winner will either force an ace match or win the set on Village Clock Tower Crossing.
In we go to the final round, the deciding match. If ShowTime wins this one, we go to an ace match. If Aura wins, it's a clean 2-0 sweep for them.
Yeah, Aura would love to continue to add on to their fantastic start here in KDL Preseason 2 with yet another win, avoiding an ace match. With Season Tech right now leading the charge, Flare and Monster right behind him, Braun as well, as we have a 3-lapper here on Village Clock Tower Crossing. Beautiful village, too. I mean, just look at these picturesque houses. Love that clock tower. Yep. Gorgeous.
There's also sheeps, you know, the animal diversity is really here, but Hero is going to get knocked down really far, and I'm sure he'll be able to recover if he picks himself up a magnet, as Flare does right now. And we're going into second lap. Monster holding a shield. Let's see what aggro he can absorb.
And I like that magnet there from Flare, getting a little bit of momentum, getting closer to the front of the pack. Ooh, nice shield there by Monster, too, avoiding the water bomb, as he's going to continue to pull away from Knock, Tech, and Seize.
Oh, Tech gonna get knocked out there, spinning out of control. Now it's all up to Knock in the front for Aura, looking really scary because he's being followed up by 3 members of ShowTime. 2 of them gonna get knocked out by the water bomb.
Yeah, but Water Wisp coming through will take a lot of momentum there from Knock, and ooh, that's not what you want to happen, as now Aura in a commanding position. Tech, Seize, and Hero all leading the pack. Monster's right behind him, though, with a Water Wisp. He's trying to close the distance. Hero with some fantastic body blocking, doing everything in his power. It feels like we're seeing a sweeper here.
Yeah, he absolutely maximized the role of sweeper in that tight little corner there. Now, Monster gonna get targeted by the Water Wisp, so it seems like Tech, he's super far away right now. FaZe, he needs to catch up.
Yeah, FaZe and Flare are trying everything in their power to close the distance, but not picking up any speed items right here. Just attacks is going to make it tough. Now, the Water Wisp will come through, but Tech does have a shield. He pops that now. So was able to deflect one of those. The rockets do hit him, though, so he is spinning out. 400 meters left to go. Tech just barely ahead. No speed items. We found another Water Wisp comes through, and FaZe might be forcing an ace match.
My goodness, I was thinking Tech is just gonna take this one, but the Water Wisp was there when there was no shield available for Tech, and it's gonna be ShowTime who takes item round 5, and we are gonna have an ace match, the first showing for both teams in Preseason 2. I am really excited for this one, State.
Oh man, what a fantastic day of Kart Rider Drift action it has been. 2 team matches so far, 2 ace matches, as we're gonna have the underdogs ShowTime going up against Aura in a winner-takes-all 1v1 here. Fantastic play from them there on Clock Tower Crossing.
You can see Fran, he looked really happy there, being able to deliver his team that win in item mode as the item ace. And now, I wonder who's gonna be the ace match player for ShowTime. I feel like Ghost would have to be the right bet because he is the runner for the team. But at the same time, I feel like Monster has had way more consistent performances so far in the season when it came to that runner role. So a lot to discuss here.
Yeah, and you can see the team all huddled around trying to figure out exactly who it is going to be. For Aura, I gotta think that it's going to be Looting, the speed ace here for their team that will be the pick, but we'll wait and see. Oh, getting ready to figure out exactly what the map is going to be.
You think it's going to be Looting for Aura?
I think so, yeah.
Not Hero, despite his heroic performance?
It could be Hero. I mean, certainly either one of them, but I mean, Looting now coming in as a speed ace here for Aura, previously on Reboot. I feel like, I mean, if I'm Aura, if I'm their coaching staff, if I'm their players, I want to give Looting an opportunity to really you know, prove himself in that role as Speed Ace here in the first Ace match of the season. But, I mean, you're right, Hero, he has been racing fantastically so far, and we'll have to see what the choice is going to be.
Yeah, you can see they're really taking their time to discuss this one through. The coaches are basically asking right now, who wants to be the one to put themselves up on this insanely high pressure situation? And with it comes a lot of honor if you bring the win for your team, but at the same time, it must feel crushing to be that player who could have won it all, but ended up losing because they made a mistake in one of their lines.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility, especially for a rookie team such as ShowTime. You know, one set win over a team like Aura could be the difference between eventually going to the postseason or not. So there is a lot, you know, on the line here for these guys, and you got to think that they're going to put a lot of time into considering exactly who it is going to be.
Yeah, and it seemed like Fran was in the back there putting a lot of confidence in the youngsters there, saying, you guys can do it, don't worry, you know, even if you lose, it's okay, as long as you play your heart out and make sure that, you know, you're satisfied with your own performance.
Of course.
That's all that matters. You know, those encouraging words are what the rookies in ShowTime need right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always tough as a rookie coming onto the big stage here at the KDL. Of course, we have a live audience here. There's a big esports scene in Korea for these teams, for these fans. It's a lot of pressure, and we'll see what the map is going to be. Ooh, construction chaos. Okay.
You know,
that's going to be an exciting one, Peter.
This is a track where if you fall behind, it's going to be really hard. Like, as the track says, it's chaotic. There's especially that one part of the track where a lot of players end up faltering and losing their momentum, because if you're not able to weave around the corners with perfection, you end up losing a lot of your own line as a result.
That's a complicated track for sure, but you know, 1v1, it could be more complicated and less complicated, right? Because there's less bodies you got to worry about. And actually, yeah, it is going to be Ghost versus Looning here. Our players have been chosen here on Construction Chaos. Winner takes all here in the Ace match for the second time today. I could not be more excited to get into this one.
You call it state. Looning is the man for Aura here, and I'm hoping that he's able to prove why he was chosen over Hero, who's had such a stellar performance as a runner. On the other side, Ghost, I feel like he's been really struggling to show up in team speed matches, so it's finally his time to show up that, you know, this is why I am the runner of ShowTime. I can beat a great player like Looning in the Ace match. You know, he needs to prove himself now.
Yeah, the potential is there. This is a great opportunity for him to prove himself against the newly chosen Speed Ace here for Team Aura. And Looning is another one of those players that, you know, just really in KDL Preseason 1 solidified himself as one of the best runners, one of the best Speed Aces in the game. So a victory here for ShowTime would give them heaps of confidence moving into the rest of KDL Preseason 2. But you can see the tension on both of their faces. A lot on the line here for these teams. Neither wants to walk away with a loss.
Yeah, and it seems like Ghost, you know, one of his most confident tracks are mind-winding slopes, which I feel like if you're good at winding slopes, you got to be good at Construction Chaos. So I trust in Ghost here to be able to have a really good first showing. And he is now in his initial seat, so he's just going through his settings right now to make sure that, you know, his gameplay won't be affected.
Yeah, just got to make sure those settings are right. Got to make sure you have everything ready. So our players getting ready to go into this race themselves, and with a delay like this, you know, getting the settings ready just kind of adds to the tension too, right? You got to think that the pressure is mounting here for this rookie. He knows the show is waiting for him to get his settings ready. He knows that his team's hopes and dreams in this tournament, a lot of it comes down to a match like this.
Yeah.
As I said before, I mean, one set win over a team as talented as Aura could eventually be the difference maker for ShowTime making the postseason or not later on in the preseason. So hopefully from Ghost, he's going to be able to collect himself, allow his teammates to rally behind him with love and support, as you mentioned, and give a good showing here.
I hate it when that happens, when you take off the headset and your glasses come off.
I'm an earbud user, so I don't have this problem at home.
I used to be one too, but recently I moved over to speaker.
Speakers! Yeah, that's how I can tell you're not that serious a gamer. You gotta get the spatial surround, man. You gotta know exactly what's where. I can never do that with speakers, but maybe you got those big surround sound setups. I don't know your home.
Yeah, but now we are getting ready to enter our ace match between Ghost and Looning in Desert Construction Chaos.
And here we go on Desert Construction Chaos. Winner takes all between Looting and Ghost. Team Aura versus Team ShowTime. The established veterans versus the rookies. Who will emerge victorious? Right now, Looting off to a great start.
Yeah, and I saw Looning doing a lot of cuts there to build more of a booster gauge, but so far, Ghost is leading in the gauge right now slightly, so as long as he can get back into the draft range, I'm sure he'll be able to catch up no problem.
Yeah, taking very similar lines there, both of these racers, and that slightly better nitrous gauge here for Ghost, as you said, if he's able to maintain distance, striking distance from Looning, and draft and time out these nitruses, it could be him coming through with a really clutch timing, whether it be on a corner, on a straightaway, to take that first place position.
But that's not happening so far.
Oh my
Looning,
goodness.
he was able to get a great block off there, stopping his own momentum, but completely killed Ghost as well in the meantime. Now Ghost looking for the inner, trying to overtake, but he bumps into Looning, and he does seem to make it across.
Yeah, Ghost able to pull into first place right now. Looting going to try and contest that here as we enter lap number 2. Neck and neck are both of these racers. Nitrous gauges very close now, almost completely mirrored. Looting actually taking a slight edge.
Yeah, and right now Ghost, once again, he's looking for the way to pass, but Looning with the fantastic blocks is there to check him each time.
Yeah, Looning just zoning Ghost out perfectly right now, and that's so difficult to do as the leading racer. You see Ghost now going for the outer line. We'll see if Looting's able to fight back, trying to find an angle of his own, but now Ghost with the body blocks.
Yeah, and this is going to be the trickiest part of Construction Chaos, where it could go either way. Last time we've seen Looning come to a complete stop in the line of Ghost, but it's Ghost right now looking for the outer.
Yeah, Ghost able to find that angle and get back in, but it's neck and neck right now, Peter, between these two racers. Ghost right now in first place. His teammates gotta be on the edge of their seat.
Ghost.
They want their teammate to go in. Fantastic blocking there for Ghost.
Yeah, now Looning is really far behind. He needs to catch up because the race is going to end soon. He wants to get that draft range, and in fact, he does. And a fantastic block onto Ghost there. Now Looning with a humongous lead.
Yeah, Looning with a humongous lead and just enough momentum to carry him across the finish line, and Team Aura is going to beat your victors here by just a fraction of a second. Looning taking the victory over Ghost, but what a great showing here for Team ShowTime. Yes, they get the loss, but that was a back and forth battle there in the ace match. And I mean, this has got to be a kind of series where you could feel a little bit more confident here.
Yeah, this was a second team showing of the day, and both matches have gone all the way through to the ace match, and it was Aura this time taking that win. Looning came in super clutch. It was a 0.1 second difference that separated them, and I want to give props to Ghost here as well. As we see Looning, he's feeling good about his victory there, posing for the camera, but as I was saying, Ghost put up a really good fight, and I feel like it could have easily gone in his favor if, you know, he had the better draft times.
Yeah, that was so close right there at the end, and I really thought up until we had Looting go through with that jump that it was going to be ShowTime running away with it, but instead it's going to be Aura, after a 3-2 defeat in item mode, able to secure the win in ace match by, as you said, a 1/10 of a second, really coming down to the wire. And you know, all the Kartrider fans watching from home have been treated to some fantastic shows today, because I mean, Sungmin versus Minshik was the same story. I think, again, about a 1/10 of a second separating those two racers in ace. So just really fantastic stuff so far today, and I love the performance that we saw out of ShowTime as well.
Yeah, every single rookie team today, they showed up. Even a team like in the previous match, Seraphic, who went down 0-6 against Aura, they were able to go all the way to ace match. So it just makes you more excited for the potential of all these rookie teams. I feel like in preseason 1, there was a rather clear difference between the top 4 teams and the top 4, or the bottom 4 teams. But this time around, I can't really put up a clear top 4.
Yeah, it's a little bit more tough to call. It feels like, you know, perhaps it's the patch changes, it's the changes to cart sizes, it's the changes to the meta, but things have shaken up quite a bit here in the KDL preseason. As it feels like these established teams, the pro teams and the veteran teams, they're showing that they're they can be mortal. And these rookie teams, they're really showing up. I mean, they haven't been able to come through with any big upsets so far, but their performance has been good.
Yeah, and I feel like that's really important for the health of esports, the rookie revolution, because if you have the pro teams that have already proven themselves constantly picking up more and more wins, it can become really easy to predict the matches. And at that point, it's like, at that point, you could even say, why are you watching? Unless you really like the process of getting those wins, right? And I feel like now with rookies showing up, that they can actually take down some of these giants, it just makes you want to watch these matches fully and through and just be on that story alongside these teams.
I mean, the fact that both our rookie teams in the first 2 matches today went down to the wire to an ace match against Aura and the KWANGDONGFREECS is just incredible stuff. And
Yep.
I love what we're seeing out of these rookie teams. I love how competitive they are, especially considering for a lot of these guys it's their first time here on stage at the KDL, coming on and giving a good performance. It's just really thrilling to see. So fantastic stuff so far. Keep in mind we do have another team match at the end of today. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great one. Stick around to see some Live Sandbox and potential action.